Okay, so now that we've solved the system of equations using elimination with 2 variables, 3 variables, using the matrix, we're going to move on to put it in the calculator. So we're going to use technology today. Technology just means we're going to use a calculator. We still have to focus on the same first steps. For example, first, I need to make sure that I have standard form. Here's where I told you all to color code. X is one color, Y another color, and then we would have the equal sign and my constants at the end. Since I have that, I can move on and say that yes, my standard form is done. So for my matrix, I have the 5, the 8, 6, -2, 13, and 2. And I do kind of want the dimensions. Dimensions is just the sizes. We go rows by columns. So I have 2 rows, 3 columns, just like that. Next problem. If you highlight the x's, you're going to notice that they're out of place. Here are my y's. Oops. Here is my equal sign. And here is my constant. So the constants are fine. The only issue is on this side of the equal sign, the x's and y's are mixed up here. So since they're on the same side of the equal sign, when I fix them, I don't really have to change the sign. Actually, that one's fine. I don't have to change the sign. I just have to move them. The x first, then the positive 13 equal to 45. Now, when I bring it over here to my matrix, I can just bring the x's, then the y's, and then after the equal sign, I have -5 and 45. Dimensions are the same. I have 2 rows, 3 columns. For the dimensions, we do rows by columns. On this next question, x's, y's, z's, equal sign, and constant. So that one's fine. You just have to bring it over for the matrix. -2, 3, 6, 4, -2, -3, -1, 2, 1, and -14, -3, and 13. This one has 3 rows, 4 columns. Now this one is messed up. I'm going to ask you to pause the video, try to fix it up, color code your letters, and then when you unpause the video, we can compare answers. Go. Okay, so I did fix the bottom 2 equations because things were not in order. I needed the x's first, and then the y. So these 2 I moved from one side to the other. Or sorry, I moved on the same side of the equal sign, so I didn't change from negative to positive. Same thing here. The z is at the front. It should be at the back. So all I did was move it to the back. I didn't change sign. We're going to fix the rest of these. Check your work. I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to fix the rest of these. When you unpause it, we can compare answers. And then we can move to the matrices on how they should look like. So go ahead and pause the video. Try the example. Remember, you have to try the example. Otherwise, there's nothing for us to compare it. Otherwise, you're not making mistakes. And if you're not making mistakes, then you're not learning. So I'm going to start with saying that this equation was in standard form. The only issue is that there was no x on the first part. So since there's no x, I just put a 0 as my placeholder. You do need placeholders whenever the letter is not there. Because remember, if the letter is there, then it gets a 1 in front of it. But when the letter is not there, it's like you showing up to work. You're not showing up to work. If you do not show up, then you get 0. This bottom one here, the 37 is on the wrong side of the equal sign. So when I move it, I change the sign. I only change the sign because I'm crossing the equal sign. Same thing here with the y. I am crossing the equal sign, so I made it negative. The z also changes, so it becomes positive. And the 13, needs to be positive because that one also changes sign. Here I have the -4 and the 3. There's no yellow, so I need a 0 for my constant. There's no z, so I need a 0 for that one. The x moves aside, so it becomes negative. And the z also moves across, so it becomes negative. Here is what the matrices look like for those. And these are all 3x4s. 3 rows, 4 columns. That's going to be very important because today we're going to put these on the calculator, and the calculator needs to know how many rows and how many columns you're going to use. Double check that the numbers transferred over correctly. I'm going to give you some time. You can also pause the video, and then we're going to move on to the second paper of the notes, part 2.